Hey everybody, Sinister Lex here. Today we're going to be chatting money mindset, what it means, what it is, what yours is like, and where it needs to be if you want your business to grow. Before we do that, I'm going to remind you that there's a get notification bell over there, a notification bell. You should go click on it and click get notifications if you want my notifications. But let's talk about money mindset today. What is it? Why it's important for your business? And whatever it is that you're trying to build. So money mindset, when you're trying to build a business, you have all of these thoughts about money. It's ways you think about money. And usually it comes down to two ways of thinking about money, a scarcity mindset and an abundance mindset. Scarcity mindset being you're the entrepreneur, you're in this business either part-time or full-time, or maybe you haven't even started the business yet, but you're trying to do it all yourself because you have a scarcity mindset. You're scarce on resources, or so you think. And so you're trying to do everything on your own. You're building your own website, you're writing your own copy, you're taking your own photos, and you are doing your own accounting and illustrating your own graphics and all of that shit. Just like everything. Whenever I started out, that's where I was. Like, that's what I've done over the last several years. For like the first 3 years, maybe even 4 years of my entrepreneurial journey, it was all myself. And I really feel like if there was one thing that I could have overcome back then that nobody told me about and that I didn't know about, it's the money mindset and that willingness to invest in yourself. And by that I just mean, I don't necessarily mean mentoring or coaching, but investing in what you actually need to move forward. Had I done that a long time ago, I feel like I would be in such a different place from where I'm at right now. Or at least I would be where I'm at right now back then. So it wouldn't have taken 5 or 6 years, whatever it's been now. It would have only taken 1 or 2 years to get to this point. It was a failure on my part. It was not knowing what I didn't know. So when you start out, you have this scarcity mindset. You want to like hold on to your resources. You're trying to keep that shit locked tight, and you only invest in whatever is actually necessary right in the moment. For instance, with mine, whenever I started doing Kindle books, I needed a Kindle. I needed a Kindle for my children's books so I could see what they look like on that platform and make sure they work properly and all that shit. So I broke down and bought a Kindle, and that was just a necessary investment. But later on, I built a publishing company, and I built a website myself. I did all my own copy, my own design. I even had to do a little bit of development myself, even though I don't know jack shit about development. And all of this stuff cost me hours and hours and hours, and going beyond hours, months, and eventually years of my life. That's just the way it was. And I would invest here and there in the stuff that was necessary, stuff I either couldn't do or was absolutely necessary to build the platforms. And that stuff usually took something off of my plate. And those things were really nice, but I just didn't do it enough. I didn't do it in the right way. I didn't make the right investments, the investments that made sense for my business. And so I turned my wheels. My wheels were like spinning and spinning. I was coming up with new ideas. I was wondering if this was the right thing, trying to get to that next level, but not making it because I was trying to do it all myself. Well, something has happened over the last 5 years, last 6 years, whatever I can't even remember how long it's been now. It might even have been 7 years, because I started all this back in 2010 or 2009, maybe a little bit before that. Slowly, my investments have gotten larger. And by the time I got to my publishing company, I was putting in, I don't even know how much I'd put in the business, several $1,000s. Now I put in several thousand more, but this time it was like in larger chunks because I was paying a developer to develop the website. So we had gone from like $100 to $150 chunks, up to like $300 when I needed a couple things at a time. I needed lights for my videos. I had to buy those. I had to buy a camera for recording. And we got up to like bigger chunks, to $1,000, and those were big deals to me. It was a huge deal to be dropping $1,000 or $2,000 on my business, and then we got up to like $3,000. Like, I had to sit down and talk to my wife about this stuff, and just be like, hey, I'm thinking about making this huge investment, and it's something that I think has to happen to move my business forward, but it wasn't necessary. I could have done it myself, but I just didn't feel like I would get to that next level by doing that. So I just want to bring this mindset, the money mindset, to your attention, what kind of money mindset you have, because it's either scarce or abundant. And for most people, it's a scarcity mindset when you're just starting out or before you've even started at all. It's a scavenging, it's saving your resources, it's doing it all yourself and not investing unless it's something that's absolutely necessary. But what I've learned over the last year or so is that investing in these bigger ways, in my business, has been the greatest thing I could do for myself. It has allowed me to really, really grow. It has allowed me to reach the next level. It has allowed me to be someone who can take care of my clients at higher levels and operate like a real fucking business. And only whenever I started doing that at higher levels was I able to kind of zoom out, see the bigger picture, focus a little bit more on the things that I need to focus on as a business owner and make those things happen. So over the last year or so, this has really started to blossom because, I don't know, maybe a year ago, I made some big investments, and not just in I invest in both coaching and mentoring, but also in business systems and processes to bring it all together, to really bring my business together so that when I'm working with freelance clients, now I can operate at a higher level. I can charge higher prices, and it's much easier to get that because I start to look professional in their eyes. And the training, the mentoring, that helps me know what to say or where to say it or what I need to be doing. And then the processes and systems on the back end, those things just pull it all together. They make me look like someone who knows his shit and who can help my clients. And for that reason, they're willing to give me money, in addition to me being niched down, knowing my ideal client, having my theme or my brand and things like that. All of it pulls together. But what's really important that I've, come to realize from all of this is that the reason I'm growing faster than ever now is due to getting in a place where I'm comfortable making bigger investments. And for me, nobody told me this stuff. Nobody was saying, hey, invest in this, or this at the beginning. Nobody was saying that. I don't even know if anyone knows this mindset. I don't know. I haven't really seen it mentioned on the Fastlane forum or anywhere else that I hang out, where it's until you've invested large chunks of change, you just don't get comfortable with that. You don't know what it's like, and you're not okay doing it. Right now, this year, I'm making massive fucking investments in my business. You have no idea, and I'll tell you about them here in just a sec. But I want you to understand that I've been building up to this over the last 7 years. I think it's been 7 years because it was 2010 when I started. It's 2017 now. So 7 years of slowly building up to a point where now I'm running a consistent business. It's one business. It's not a bunch of different business ideas every week. I have systems and processes and accountant, and the systems are in place, and I'm growing faster than ever because I'm on one track. I've made these bigger investments, and now I'm okay doing that more and more. So whereas when I started, I invested, 5 to 10 grand over a period of 3 years. Last year, I invested probably 10 grand in all of my systems, upgrade training, coaching, mentoring, in addition to other coaching I got just by writing for coaches. All of these things have really come together. And that was the biggest year of investments in my life. Last year was a huge year of investments, and I started to feel more and more comfortable with it. I was like, well, you know what? It's the faster I do this shit, the faster my business is opening up to me and to what I'm trying to grow. And now this year, things have really changed. Now, I've still been doing my own websites up until this year because I just felt like I could. I've done so many websites, written so much copy that I felt like I could do it at a competent level. But this year, I realize now that that's not the case. And so this year, I've made some changes in my business. Starting off, before even half the year is over, we have this Whisper Room. I bought this Whisper Room. I bought multiple domains, different websites, WordPress themes, all kinds of more back-end systems So overall, I spent around 12, somewhere between, I think, 12 and 13,000 just in the first half of this year. So that's like last year's whole investments were like 10 grand. This year, it's like somewhere between 12 and 13,000 in the first half of the year. And a lot of these are like big purchases. Like the majority of that was this Whisper Room, which was almost 9 grand by itself. Back to the website thing though, I'm not done making investments, because now that I've made those investments last year, and now that I've started making and dealing in bigger money, it's like that money is coming to me, and I don't want to be all woo-woo like spiritual. It's like you just start drawing it in though. It's like you find ways. When you change how you deal with money, when you change your mindset around money and it starts to shift toward like an abundance mindset, you realize that whatever you invest in that can grow your business, like how do I put this? You realize there's always more money. There's always more money. Money never stops. You run out of time, you're going to die eventually unless something really big changes. So you run out of time, but you don't run out of money. And because you don't run out of money, whenever you get to that place where you're like, well, holy shit, I can always get more money, then you can start to make bigger investments. So I've been doing my websites for a long time now, and I thought they were okay. And, I think they're okay, but they're not at that extremely professional level, which is the whole reason I decided to rebrand and just changing everything. So as of yesterday, I've made a deal to move forward where I'm looking now at spending about $15,000 on website and branding and things like that moving forward. I've got a current brand designer, paid them $600 the other day, but yesterday dropped a deposit of almost $2,500 so that over the rest of the year we can finish that out. 15 grand for website design, development, branding, all that shit to pull it all together. So last year was 10 grand. Before that was like 3 years to build up to 10 grand of investment. Last year was like 10 grand. And this year it's going to be more like 25, probably closer to $30,000 to $35,000 of investment in my business. And I just it's the next level. It's the next stage, and that's where it has to go. It can't just be me doing everything myself anymore. It can't be me playing small. This is what I was talking about playing small the other day. Like, you have to figure out the areas where you're playing small. With my coaching business, freelance and copywriting coaching for me, that was playing small. And I realize that now, so I want to scale back and go a slightly different direction. That was just playing too small. I need a bigger playing field. And doing it all myself is playing too small. So later on, sometime later this year, I will bring other people into my system. I will probably hire a copywriter. I'll bring on a new VA, and I've got my accountant already. I've got a designer handling design work now, so I don't know who all will be in my system this year, but if it's not this year, it'll extend into next year as we grow and expand and expand. And when you're operating on this level, when you are having legitimate fucking agencies doing your shit for you, whenever you are hiring the right people to get you to that next level, then all of a sudden, shit just starts to explode and open up for you. When I'm working with clients now, it's a completely different mindset. I mean, I've always tried to tell you guys to operate from a position of power. I'm telling you, when you are on the same level as your client, not just mentally, but you're actually there, there's no power in the world that they have over you. You have all the power. You don't want to work with them? You know what? Fuck off. You don't have to, because you just don't got to. And you're on that level. People are coming to you, and you are the expert. And they're looking at your stuff. They're looking at your systems, your processes, your people. They're just like, holy shit, this guy's the real fucking deal, You got to be that. And I think that's where you're going to have to be in the future. If you ever want to break free from whatever it is, your job, your corporate job, your freelance job, whatever kind of income systems you've created for yourself, in whatever way you want to do that, whether that's an agency, whether that's a coaching business, whether that is some other kind of entrepreneurial venture, you're still going to have to step off that cliff. At some point, you have to make this shift from scarcity mindset to abundance mindset. You have to change your money mindset. You have to change the way you think about money. And you have to be willing to open yourself to making these bigger investments. It's not just in yourself, it's in your business and your business systems. And this is thinking like not just thinking like an entrepreneur, but thinking like a fucking supervillain entrepreneur. Thinking big picture, expansive, world domination. Like if you want to go from 0 to 1,000 real quick, you have to take these huge steps. That's the only way to make it happen. You have to take huge leaps, right? So that's really all I wanted to talk about today. It's on my mind because these are big investments. I've already made several this year and already committed to making more this year. I want to ask you again, because we just asked this before, but what areas are you playing small in? And like, where are your weaknesses in your business? If it's sales, do you need a salesperson or do you need sales training? If it is mindset, do you need to get mindset training, a mindset coach, or do you need to get help with that? If it is your copywriting or your web design, do you need to hire someone to handle that shit? Like, let's be real for a second. You are not going to do all this shit yourself and become the world's biggest whatever. You're not going to do it. There's a reason people go on Shark Tank, even when they have businesses that are growing pretty well. They go on there to get investment, to get help from people who've either been where they are smarter, are thinking differently, are thinking on completely different levels. So what is that thing for your business? Is it the systems? Is it equipment? Is it processes? Is it someone who has those things? Is it someone who can bring a new perspective? I don't know what that is for you. I want you to think about that today and just like stop and think about where your money mindset is right now, because I guarantee you will turn your wheels and you will be fucking stuck for a long, long time until you eventually make those investments anyway. Like that is what happened to me anyway. I was stuck. I was playing small. I was slowly investing only in what I thought was necessary at the moment. Like in that moment, it was small. Like this is small picture. This is getting into the details. Oh shit, I need a Kindle to make this book. I better go finally invest in that. No, this is like, I need a Kindle, but what comes after that? What else do I have to have? Do I need someone who can make book covers? Do I need someone who can, like, proofread and edit my books? Do I need someone to upload and publish to Amazon? Do I need an accountant to handle those finances? What do you need in place? What are these big systems? And what are you going to do to stop operating on such a small scale like a little peon? If you haven't even jumped from your corporate job yet, if you haven't escaped that prison, what has to happen right now for you to do that? What do you have to do to make that happen? Do you need to get training? Do you know anything about entrepreneurship, or do you need help with that? How are you going to get that help? Who the hell is calling me right now? Get out of here. Brownwood? Oh, hell no. I'm definitely not answering calls from Brownwood. Fuck Brownwood. I hate Brownwood. I don't hate I hate Brownwood. Brownwood, Texas, never going back there. Never going back there. Unless I don't know how that would happen, if that would ever happen. National Guard time, it was miserable. Brownwood's a dusty place that I don't care for. Anyway, money mindset. How are you going to change the way you think about money? Or are you just going to keep playing small? Are you just going to keep doing that piddly shit? This can be the thing, the difference between you reaching that next level and you staying right where you are for the next 3 to 5 years. I'm telling you, this really no shit can be, because I've seen it happen. People who have worked with me, and I don't want this to come across as like a pitch for working with me, but the guys who have worked with me, like one of those guys, Johnny, in my insiders group, one of his clients just invited him to fly him out to have dinner with them so they could chat copywriting, chat services, because they love his copywriting so much. And he wasn't like a big business before that or anything. He started working with me. We got him up there, and now he is making full-time income from his copywriting, and he's about to grow even bigger. Like, the sky is the limit when you get what you need. And this didn't take long. He's been in my program since last year. So this is like, less than a 1-year time frame. I don't even know if it's been a whole year yet. But when you compare that to me having started in 2010 and just now being where I am, able to make these bigger investments to grow my business and to be comfortable doing that, if someone had just said it like, hey, fuck, you need to fucking invest in this shit, invest in whatever you need to, do what you have to do to get to that next level because it propels you forward. And fuck, I'm passionate about this, guys, because it's like a fucking switch flipped or something, you know? It just clicked with me one day, and mainly it was this year. I was like, well, holy shit, I made these big investments last year, and now suddenly I'm capable of dealing in even bigger investments, and I have the money to do so because those investments opened up the pathway to these investments. And these got, like, where the fuck do we go from here? I don't even know. We grow this business bigger and bigger and bigger until the point where it does become whatever size I ultimately want my empire to be. For you, you have to think about what your empire looks like. What does your supervillain empire look like? What do you imagine? What do you see? How big is it? What do you want in your life? Do you just want free time? Do you want a big house, big car, whatever? You know, I don't know what the shit you want. But just, you have to figure that out for yourself. You have to ask those questions. And once you ask those questions, then you know how much of an empire you need. You know, like, where your business needs to get to. And then it's only a matter of how long is it going to take you to get there. So just be thinking about that. Think about what kind of investments you're going to make moving forward and how that is going to shift your mindset. The reason my mindset is now toward abundance, in a place of abundance, is because I had a scarcity mindset, and over time I made investments that opened me up to an abundance mindset. But if you just make those fucking investments in yourself, in your business, whatever you want to say, when you start dealing in bigger money, then you start bringing that money towards yourself. You open doorways for yourself, and you make change happen a lot faster. That has been my personal experience. You can take it or leave it for, you know, take it for what it is, a grain of salt or whatever. I'm not you, and I can't tell you how to run your business or how to live your life. I can only tell you that I haven't had to work a job in several years now, and the more I invested, the more it opened me up for that. So here we are. That's what I got for you guys. This is all of my video. I am Sinister Lex. I thank you so much for watching. I really do hope you guys get something from this. I mean, fuck, I love doing these videos. I love talking to you. They don't really do anything for me because they're not monetized or anything, and there's, you know, I only got like 650 followers, coming up on 650. That's pretty cool. If you guys want to talk about it more, swing by my Facebook group, the Supervillain Entrepreneur Facebook group. If you don't know, the link has updated a little bit. You guys can get in there. We're talking freelancing mostly right now because it's going to be a while before my rebranding is done, before the designs are done, and things like that happen. So you can swing by there if you want. I'm going to be going live probably tomorrow. Tomorrow's Saturday, so I'm thinking tomorrow is going to be a Facebook Live, and we'll just kind of get on there and hang out and chat. Shit. Shoot the shit or whatever you want to call it. You guys can ask me questions, and maybe there's things I can help you out with. I don't know. Anyway, that's all I've got for now. If you want... Fuck, I don't know what I was going to say. Drop me some comments, guys. Drop me some comments. Shit. Yeah. Subscribe if you want, and I will see you next time.